everyone, and welcome back to Cruising with Matthew. So today I'm going to talk a bit more about P&O Cruises Aurora, detailing some of the hints and tips that I learned whilst being on board her. So I think it'll be really useful for people who are thinking about booking an Aurora or wanting to know some of the places that you can't miss when you're on board her. So I really hope that you enjoy this video. Number 1, she's actually quite small. So Aurora, following the departure of Oriana, is actually the smallest ship by tonnage in the P&O Cruises fleet, weighing in at around 76,000 tonnes and being able to carry 2,000 passengers. In contrast, Britannia, which is the ship that I went on before her, weighed in at 140,000 gross tonnes. So you can imagine it was a bit of a shock seeing a ship like Aurora. Now, when she was built, she was considered to be a superliner by P&O Cruises, but that was some time ago, so it shows how the times have changed. This is not to say that Aurora is a tiny ship at all, or there's no facilities. Quite the opposite, in fact. But it's just something to be aware of if you're used to booking on ships like Azura, Ventura, or Britannia, or going on a ship like this will be quite different. What I do like about the size of Aurora means that walking from place to place is not nearly as far as when you're on a larger ship like Britannia. This also means that it is far more suitable for people with limited mobility because you don't have as far to walk. Additionally, you're more likely to encounter people on your day-to-day travels that you may have met on the first day, for example. And I think that is really nice because it gives a more intimate feel and you get to know some of the crew and fellow passengers. Aurora's Sky Dome, or indoor pool. Now, a really good design feature of Aurora is the fact that she possesses an indoor pool and sky dome, which essentially means that when the weather is inclement, then you can close this sky dome and it'll mean that you have a nice pool which is dry and warm, irrespective of what the weather conditions are outside. Although if it is a bit choppy, you may get your own personal wave pool. As a result of this, it does mean that most people will go to this area on sea days, for example, when the weather isn't nice, such as when you're crossing the Bay of Biscay. And it does mean that it can get a bit busy. However, if you really want to, like we did, you can always go to one of the other outside pools and they tend to be completely deserted. Just make sure that your towels are thoroughly anchored down, because what we found out was that if you actually go in the pool, it's not that cold, it's just the getting out bit that's a bit fun. Aurora's promenade is huge. Now, for anyone who has watched any of my videos, they will know that I absolutely love a promenade deck, purely because I really like feeling like I'm close to the sea, and I love just being able to walk around the ship outside, seeing the world go by when I'm on my cruise. Now, I was really happy to hear that Aurora's promenade deck was both wide and fully wraparound, so it's not like you had to go inside to go to the other side of the promenade deck, for example. And I spent a lot of time just walking around and taking in the brilliant views on board Aurora. Now, she also has loads of chairs and tables on the promenade deck as well, so it's a really good place to sit in the evening and watch the sunset, which lots of people did as well. Do note, however, that some areas are designated for smoking, but when the ship's underway, you don't smell the smoke at all. It's taken away by the wind really quickly. So I would thoroughly recommend that you have a walk around the promenade at least once during sunrise or sunset especially. Aurora's tiered stern. Now, perhaps my favourite design feature of Aurora is the fact that she possesses a tiered stern. Now, what this means is that you have a huge amount of deck space at the back of the ship, because in all of these tiers, you have a set of sunbeds and chairs. And if you're going from, say, the promenade deck up to the buffet and you're near the back, you can walk out the doors, whichever cabin deck you're on, and walk up the stairs, which is really nice because I don't like on a ship being stuck inside all the time. I like being outside as much as possible. So this is a really nice feature, and it felt like you had tons of space on Aurora and you get brilliant views at the back as well. Additionally, because there is a pool, being able to swim and watch the world go by, and especially being able to see the wake, is just brilliant in my opinion. And so few ships have this feature now, especially with the loss of Oriana. You only really have ships like the Queen Mary 2 which possess this feature, so it's very rare, and I would thoroughly encourage anyone to take full advantage of this feature when you're on Aurora. Have a drink at the Crow's Nest. Now, one of my favourite features on board most P&O Cruises ships, with the exception of the likes of Oceania, Ventura and Azura, is the fact that most of them possess a crow's nest. Now, this is a panoramic bar which is situated right at the top of the ship above the bridge, and this boasts fantastic views over the front of the ship and the bow. And I absolutely love having a pre or post dinner drink here, because there's nothing better than listening to a band playing some music or a pianist, especially on a formal night, having a few cocktails with friends and just being able to really enjoy the atmosphere. So I would really recommend that you do this at least once on your cruise. Aurora is now adults only. Now, Aurora underwent a refit in April 2019 to become adults only. In addition to the typical refit changes such as changing of carpets and updating a few cabins, the biggest change was that all of her children's areas were removed and new cabins added. On P&O Cruises, there are 2 adults-only ships in the fleet following the departure of Oriana. This includes Aurora as well as Arcadia, and I've never been on either of these ships, so I was quite interested to see what an adults-only ship felt like, and to be honest, it made no difference to my cruise experience, besides the fact that obviously there were no children on board. So I wouldn't be concerned thinking that the entertainment may be different if you're used to the larger ships in the P&O Cruises fleet, because we still had the same shows such as Astonishing. So really, it made no difference to me, and I would encourage people of, say, my age, because I was 22 when I went on Aurora and my 2 friends were 21, and we had a fantastic time. And I don't think that the cruise experience changes that much, except that there aren't any children on board. Attend the Captain's Gala night. As with all the P&O ships, on the first formal night, which is typically a sea day, you have a Captain's Gala party. So this is where everyone dresses up in their finery, you get a few free drinks, and you get to hear the captain give a brief speech, as well as a few anecdotes for the cruise. Now, we had Captain Neil Turnbull, and he was brilliant. And he referred to things like, say, the tenders being the little ducklings and on their way back to Mother Duck when we were docked in Guernsey. So it was things like that which made it a really good event to attend, so I'd really recommend it. One thing to be aware of was the fact that, unlike the larger ships in the fleet, where the Captain's Gala night typically is held in the atrium, it is actually held at Carmen's, which is the show lounge at the back of the ship. Now, this was quite different, and I actually quite liked it, because it meant that everyone always had a seat, there was no one standing around, and it felt a bit more intimate. So I really enjoyed that. But either way, even if it's on Aurora or any other P&O ship, I would really recommend that you go to the Captain's Gala night, because it's a really nice affair. Plus, you get a few free drinks, which never goes amiss. Go to the theatre at least once. Now, I absolutely love the theatre entertainment on board the P&O ships, because the Headliners Theatre Company have to perform such a wide repertoire of routines and performances in such a condensed period of time that I have to go, because I think they're such talented individuals. And I know that people are sometimes a bit unsure if they'd like to go and see these types of shows because they've either never been to them before or they're not a fan of things such as musicals. But I would really recommend it because it's included in your cruise fare and the talent is so high. Aurora is a traditional ship. Aurora is certainly one of the more traditional ships that I have been lucky enough to cruise on, and as a result of this, it means that she possesses a lot more of the traditional features that the modern cruise ships don't have, such as the sweeping tiered stern or the wide promenade deck. The flip side of this means that she doesn't have as wide a range of, say, dining options. For example, she doesn't have an Epicurean restaurant, or she doesn't have Britannia's Limelight Club, for example. But in my opinion, that doesn't matter, because she really retains what traditional cruising is like, because it is focused on a good level of entertainment, good amounts of food, on a ship that can handle the seas really well, and you have ample amounts of deck space, so you actually feel like you're on a ship. Just enjoy Aurora in your own way. Now, I really enjoyed Aurora and I thought that she was a fantastic ship, but what I would always make sure is that people just approach these ships with an open mind, because ultimately no ship is perfect. It would be brilliant if we could all design our own perfect cruise ship, but they would all be completely different because we all like different things. The beauty of cruising is that you have a wide range of ships, and on each ship there is a wide range of choice, so different people can do different things on the same ship. And I would always say, just try and enjoy the cruise because it's better than being at work. And at the end of the day, yes, things may not go 100% to plan. The weather may not be that good. The waves may be a bit bigger than you're wanting. Like we had on the Bay of Biscay, it was rolling for the first day a fair bit. But that is not to say that we didn't enjoy it. We had a fantastic time, and it was a brilliant way for me and my friends to celebrate the end of our university career. And I would really recommend that anyone consider this ship. So that is my hints and tips talk of P&O Cruises Aurora, and I really hope that you found it useful. If you have any further questions, please comment below and I'll do my very best to answer them. And as always, please like and subscribe to my channel if you've enjoyed this set of videos, because it would be really appreciated and you get updated on all my latest content. Speaking of which, next week is really exciting because I'm going to be doing my first proper video tour of a ship on Holland America's New Staten Dam when she was docked at the Port of Tyne for her inaugural visit into the UK. So I can't wait to compile all the videos I took whilst I was on board her. So I hope you have a brilliant week and I shall see you next time. This is Cruising with Matthew and thank you very much.